Well, Alex, I think too the other connection that's of course worth noting, being from Wilkesboro and that North Carolina connection, of course, the deep history NASCAR has there, hand in hand with the area in that part of the country. Growing up in that area, what was that like being immersed in the NASCAR culture? I know the racing had stopped at North Wilkesboro for some time, but you were still nonetheless a big part, or at least in a big part of NASCAR country. Did you grow up a fan? What was that like in that time?
Well, I was born, of course, the year that the track actually shut down, 96. And if I remember right, I think Jimmy Johnson won the last race there in 96. I feel like that's right.
Or
Uh,
his teammate, Jeff Gordon. Yes, Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon, yes, Jeff
Yeah.
Gordon won the last race there. Excuse me. So he won the last race there, and I've got a newspaper somewhere. It's like one of those steel print newspapers, and it's got where he won and everything. That came from the speedway,
Mhm.
and but yeah, so it shut down the year I was born. You drive by it every day, just sitting there, kind of wasting away. Slowly becoming dilapidated, and every year, something else would fall apart, and it was always this big talk about we want to get the track going again. And in 2008, it was in 2008 or nine, we tried to bring the track back. We had a movie called Red Dirt Rising, I think was the name of it. It's late. My memory is terrible, and I still haven't caught on sleep from this past weekend. But yeah, so I think it was called Red Dirt Rising. It was about the how NASCAR got started and the bootlegging and all that. And so we did a show into that at the track, and I would have been around 12 at the time, and went over there and did that. And they had a few late model cars, that would run. I did a couple races there, and the turnout wasn't great. And the only thing that I can deduce would be that the timing wasn't right. It's kind of like with the classic country coming back right now. Like I think something has to be removed from our spectrum for long enough for us to truly miss it. And I think in 2008 or 9, the track had only been shut down for 12, 13 years. Um, NASCAR was it was kind of taking the big corporate turn, towards the super speedways, and some people didn't like that. 2008, 2009 was a strange time period to try and bring it back. And then, you fast forward to 2021 when which I was privy to the track coming back long before most people were, because I was a part of it. I was part of bringing that back, and doing the song, and the whole "We Want You Back" campaign. So I was over there, probably 7 or 8 months before anybody knew there's a bug or something in my throat. Um, but so I was over there a long time before anybody knew it was coming back, and so it was really cool to get to be a part of that world, and you could really feel the community around it once it started to become public knowledge. You would see the "We Want You Back" signs start popping up in everybody's yards and stuff like that. And so we knew it was coming back, and there was so much enthusiasm around it at that time. And you're talking about, you know, gosh, I mean, 24, 25 years, 25 years at that point. So the timing's right. I mean, a quarter of a century at that point. Um, so it was really exciting to have that, because not only is it something for people to do, it's a great economical thing for the community. The economy needed that boost. Wilkes County's community lost a lot of things, over the years, and that was definitely one of the hits. So having that has really helped. It's been really cool to be a part of that, and get to be kind of welcomed into the community, because I'm not super well versed in NASCAR. I like I said, I love cars. I love anything with an engine. Not a huge electric car fan, because of that
Woohoo!
reason. I like
I
gas.
don't like electric cars either. They suck.
Yeah.
I
And
like
I broke the
gas.
story about NASCAR's electric car. So,
There you go. I like to hear an engine. Not like the new Dodge Charger that they come out with, where it's got the electronic engine, sound that they got a little speaker mounted by the
the,
exhaust. That's
the
just,
baffles. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, come on. I love diesel. I love gas. I know how to work on them. But I'm so involved with what I do. Being an independent, like it literally is a, you know, 24/7 job. I mean, you really have to be working it. So I don't get to pay as much attention to a lot of the standings as I'd like to. But I do have a lot of ties and good friends in the community. Ryan Newman's a good buddy of mine, Jeff Hammond, and so I'm in the community. I'm just not as well versed as I'd like to be. My grandpa watches every week. That's like a ritual of his. But it is really cool to be a part of that community and to get to know these guys, and because they're just such great people. Everybody we've met in the racing community, and SMI working with them with North Wilkesboro Speedway has been great because they're great people and really down to earth, and just everybody just gets along. It's just everybody's just good old boys. It's not there's no arrogance. It's just it's really cool to see that, because a lot of times when you get into the famous people, it's like Bobby Labonte. Got to be friends with him, and a legend. Bobby Labonte's a legend, but just the most down to earth guy you've ever met in your life, and so cool, man. So cool to live in such an area with such rich history, and growing up, my grandpa, we went over to Junior Johnson's house. Junior Johnson lived just down the road, and we'd go over there, and we had breakfast on I think it was Sunday mornings, and it's just really cool. Such a rich area for that. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh, I want to point out real quick. I want to go back to Red Dirt Rising. It's released in 2011. Here's the IMDb trailer on it. Based on a true story about the early days of stock car racing, a story of love in the time of moonshine, as three of stock car racing's earliest heroes come of age to find escape from life's challenges on the track, ultimately shaping their future and their families and the auto racing during the Fighting 40s. So there you have it. I didn't know about this movie. I've never seen it, but I'll definitely check it out now.
You should. It's a good movie. It's well done. Most of it was produced in the area, and it's a really good, very reasonably historically accurate movie.
Has to be better than Talladega Nights.
Well, it depends on which scale we're looking at. Historically accurate, probably, but can you really beat Will Ferrell? I
I hate that movie. I do.
Positive or negative, it was good spotlight for the sport, especially cars, all those movies in that mid 2000s. And Alex, being from that area too with Wilkesboro and getting to do that pre-race concert for the All-Star race in 2023, did it kind of feel like a full circle moment, being able to have a big crowd like that, the Speedway coming back, having that hometown concert, if you will? I mean, what was that like to be able to play that gig?
It was definitely full circle, because we were doing the music video we did it all very quick. Actually, I recorded the song "We Want You Back" in September of 21, and we did the video like right after, and then we had it all released by, if I remember right, it was December 10th, 2021. So it was all very quick. And the reason we did it so quick is because if we didn't, the Speedway was going to look really good. We didn't want that. We wanted the Speedway to look like it had for the last 20 some years. We wanted it to look dilapidated, because doing a "We Want You Back" song with a Speedway that looks brand new it doesn't have the same, the same allure. So we had to do this fast, because we knew it was coming back. We knew this was coming back, and we wanted to get everybody really excited about that. And so we were hammering this thing out as quickly as we could. And so we're out there, several days doing this thing. Us and our team, and Jeff Hammond and Bobby Labonte, and day in, day out. And we're filming this thing. Terry Parsons, she's the film commissioner, but she was also Benny Parsons' wife. Got to be real close with her, and she's a very good friend of mine and my mom's, and we stay in touch with her all the time. She lives just up the road from my grandpa's cabin, and so we got to know all those people real well, and being there every day, looking at the Speedway, with the weeds growing up through the cracks, and the certain things collapsing, and the stands, some of those collapsing, and it was very sad, but we knew what was coming. And so fast forward to 2023, when we were playing that show, there is a little bit of a surrealness when you're looking out at this, what really didn't take very long at all. And I have to give a lot of kudos to Ronald Queen. I don't know if you guys know Ronald or not, but he's the manager of the North Wilkesboro Speedway, and he basically he was hands on for the entire thing, and not only hands on as far as like orchestrating it, but he was out there doing the work all day. I mean, probably 20 hours, maybe even more a day. I don't know. I mean, Ronald was a hard worker and did so much, and we're so thankful for what he was able to do. And when you are standing there playing and you're looking at what all has transpired in a relatively short amount of time, it was very amazing and very surreal. And it was really something to be proud of, to have been a part of that. And I didn't do any of the work. I didn't make it look good, but we did a couple of events out there, like where we'd play for the volunteers that were out there working, cleaning things up. And then we did the Cars tour. We did that which was called Racetrack Revival. We did that in August of 22. And then, of course, we played at the All-Star Race, both the Fan Fair or Fan Fest and at the track. And so it's really cool to see it all come full circle and to have been a part of it. And it was a very special thing to have been a part of the history, because that will be history here in Wilkes County for many years.